Jeez.
All right. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about habits, and we're also going to talk about. We're going to tie that in with Big Al and what we've been learning and what we will continue to learn with Big Al.
So,
Go ahead.
oh yeah. So I'm just going to sit here and listen because I'm just part of the prop tonight. I'm just talking about habits,
He's the eye
good habits
candy.
and bad habits. So,
Well, that is part of it, but that's not you. He's not my show and tell. Anyway, stop it. Okay.
okay.
All right. So I actually want to start with a quote from John Maxwell. And for those of you, like, as we've talked about a lot of times, there are so many resources to help us with our personal development, to help us to develop good habits, to help us grow our businesses, help us to improve communication. There's so many resources.
Right.
And one of them that I get, and maybe most of you get this one as well, it's from the John Maxwell Institute. And he sends out, it's almost daily, I think it's Monday to Friday, you get an email from John Maxwell, and he has a little video attached, and it's called Minute with Maxwell. And one of his recent ones was actually about habits. And this is a quote from him that it kind of gets you to think, and you realize how true it is, and maybe you've never thought about it this way before. So good habits serve us. Bad habits, we serve them.
Ooh, that's deep.
It is. It actually is. Good habits actually serve us in that they add to our life, they enhance our life, they equip us. But bad habits are things that are negative, and yet we're compelled to do them because they're habits, and they actually diminish our lives.
They rob from us.
Yeah, they do. And so I thought that was quite profound, actually. I had never read that before or even heard that before. And so a habit, which we all know, but it's always good to kind of have a definition to start from. A habit is something that is repetitious. We do it over and over again. It's something that we do almost without thinking. It's automatic and just feels natural. We don't even have to think about it. It's a habit. And all of us are constantly working on improving ourselves. And we all have good habits, and we all have bad habits. And it's not to get overwhelmed, because we can start to almost beat ourselves up, and which causes us to actually freeze and not be able to move forward.
Yeah.
And so another thing that John Maxwell said is just deal with things one at a time. So whether it's adding a new good habit or whether it's eliminating a bad habit, just do them one at a time and just develop the good and get rid of the bad, but just focusing one at a time. Yeah.
I got a little actual story on that.
Cool.
Can I share that story? I actually had a conversation with somebody I know very well. And that was one of my kids.
Oh, I was going to say it was me.
That's my honey. You got a bad habit, honey. And so what discussion was, one of my kids has a potentially bad habit that he keeps falling back into.
Right.
And I kind of explained to him, and what you just said, don't get overwhelmed, because you can't change everything in one shot, because then it just won't happen, right? But what I suggested to the person was, it's like a chain. You look for the broken links, and look for the couple of links that will help you the most by doing something with that link. So just work on one or two links that are broken, and just try to shore them up, make them a bit stronger. And what can you do with that specific link to help make that link stronger again, so it's not so broken, and just work on that. And so for him, it was just creating a new habit. But don't try to fix the whole life. Just take one or two of the obvious ones where it's just gonna throw you off. Just work on a couple of those and replace them with something good. And so actually that was.
Can I give an example?
Helpful, yeah.
And I'll give an example, and it's actually about you. It's okay. It's a good one.
I wasn't warned about this.
No, but just to do with but you, I mean, you're pretty upfront with saying, you know what, I actually need to lose a few pounds, right? And you've said that, right?
Yes, I've said that.
And so,
I
right,
ordered
it's something.
block.
Just wait, you're stealing my thunder.
Oh, no.
I want to explain. Okay, so it's kind of like, you know, you can talk about it and kind of get frustrated and think, it's not going to change, you know, and because you're trying to actually deal with something that feels too big at the time, and you feel like you have to change so many things. So one thing that we do when we're home in our regular routine is we go to the gym, and that's good.
Yeah.
But it still hasn't been enough.
No.
Right? And so to say, well, I have to change my eating, I have to stop eating popcorn at night or whatever, doing too many things at once can be overwhelming. So the one thing that he has added is his next order with Plexus. He's getting Boost and Block to add to his products, and he's going to take them every day.
Yeah.
He's going to develop the habit of taking those ones every day.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm making that change because I don't normally take those.
Right.
So I've actually eliminated a couple other ones for now.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to go on this regiment.
Yeah.
To see what I can drop in the next 2 months.
So yeah.
So, yeah.
So just creating a new habit
Yeah.
and not focusing on getting rid of all the bad habits that are connected.
Because I got too many to.
All right. So moving on. So as I said, part of the habits, and those are things in all different areas of our life. And so one of them has to do with the words we say that are connected to sharing our businesses. And so Big Al is one of, there are many very good resources, but Big Al has a real niche in this market when it comes to giving us very specific phrases that we can actually learn and with repetition, so they literally become habits. So then when people ask us certain questions, they are actually our response. It's actually a natural reflective response because it's become something that is a habit for us. And so I'm actually going to highlight one of his formulas. He calls them formulas in the Icebreaker book, that those of us who are in Vernon, we've been getting together once a week and going over a chapter. And each chapter has one phrase that he focuses on, and he calls them a formula. And so the one I'm going to highlight tonight, because I know for me, it has stumped me a lot, and I know for most people. So, and the formula is based on 3 questions that when you meet somebody for the first time, so it could be a social setting, it could be in the grocery store, and you just strike up a conversation with somebody, or you're at a friend's house and they have some other friends there that you've never met. 3 questions that most people will ask you when they meet you for the first time are, what is your name? Okay, that's a super easy one. We all can answer that question, right? We know our name. The second question is, they'll ask you, where do you live? Where are you from? That's a no-brainer. And the third question most people will ask you is, what do you do for a living? Right? And I know unless we have a very clear habit of how we answer that question, it can actually strike fear and panic in a lot of us because we're like, I don't know how to answer that question when it comes to Plexus, right? And how many of us have struggled with that, where we're not quite sure what to say? And especially when it comes to Plexus, I think all of us, right? And so this formula number 5 in the Icebreakers book, actually addresses that. And so do you think your answer to that question would either cause people to want to know more about what you do for a living, or how you answer could cause them to quickly run away or change the subject? Because sometimes we just end up like, the term is verbal diarrhea. We just kind of like vomit and we just give them way too much information, or we're kind of like hemming and hawing and it almost sounds like we don't know what we actually are doing because we're not being clear. And so the fact is that people react to you. No matter what it is you say, you cause a reaction in people. And we actually, because it's us that is actually determining their reaction by what we say, we actually control ourselves. So we can change how people react to how we answer that question. We actually have that power. And so by simply changing what we say and do, people will react differently. So if you're finding, and I know I have found that sometimes where it's like my answer is actually quite lame to that question, or I'm not quite sure how, and it may make it sound like, you know, as I said, that I don't really know what I'm doing, right? And so I actually can change how people react. And people, they actually have to react. They actually don't have a choice. They actually will respond to you, and we actually determine how they respond. Why are you smiling at me?
I was just thinking of something stupid.
Is it irrelevant?
Nah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, well, no.
No? Okay.
Well, it's like when somebody's talking to somebody and you got something in their nose and you can't even focus on what they're saying.
Not quite sure what that is. Okay. Anyways.
So what do you do for a living?
What do I'm not, let me get to that point.
I'm sorry, I'm ruining it again.
I know. Okay. So if you were to ask me what I do for a living, formula number 5 in the Icebreakers book actually gives us a format.
Oh, wow.
And the format, so you ask somebody, what do you do for a living? And then your answer is, I show people how to, and then you fill in the blank. And in your answer, you're also helping people solve a problem. So I have an example. So now you can ask me.
Okay, hey, babe. Oh, I'm supposed to be a stranger?
Yes. I won't even talk to you if you talk to me like that.
Hey, honey child.
No, stop it. Okay. Okay.
So, hi. So what do you do for a living?
I show people how to simply and peacefully improve their physical health and their financial health.
Wow.
Isn't that good? But no, because if you actually answer with that format where you're actually showing people something and you're actually filling in and answering, you're solving a problem for them, right. And you can do it in a simple way, the almost automatic response, and it may not be these exact words, but pretty much the person will respond, oh really? How does that work? Or, oh really? How do you do that? Because it almost compels them to ask. Like even if I said, because I didn't really say what I do, but I said what I'm showing people and the problem I'm fixing. Yeah. Right? I show people how to simply and peacefully improve their health, their physical health and their financial health. And they'd be like, oh, how do you do that? Yeah. Right? And so that lets you know that you're actually sharing in a way which is causing them to react, to want to know more. So cool. So cool. Okay, so as I said before, just tying this in with Big Al, for those of you who are in the Vernon area or can get to the Vernon area or know people in the Vernon area, and they don't even have to be part of Plexus. This stuff that Big Al shares and teaches us really is relevant in every area of life. Mm-hmm. You know, no matter what area you work in. I think every police officer should be there. So what would be easier? Handcuffs or a ticket? No, anyways, but it is. It's very relevant. Everybody can learn. Go to the doctor, right? The doctor could use the Learn Big Al stuff. Everybody. Yeah. Everybody can. So. Yeah. Yeah, and it's super reasonable. Tickets are available at the door. They're $20 each at the door. Correct, Cal?
Yes, that's correct.
$20 at the door, and it's here in Vernon. All the information is on the Blessed with Plexus event post for this Friday, 6 to 9 p.m., and it'll definitely be worth your time. And I mean, minimal cost that it is. I know for us, when we first heard Big Al, we came away just feeling like we were going to be ninja communicators. Oh yeah, and actually that's the word we came up with. Was just feeling like you're just going to be equipped and just able to do that and be able to communicate. No, so cool. So I'm glad whoever is there, you guys are, you're going to be so happy you went, because it's going to be worth it. And we were totally mesmerized. He spoke for like 3 hours solid, I think. I don't even know if we had a break.
but we were just on the edge of our seat the whole time, and not many people can do that for
Keep
me.
your attention.
So he's pretty cool. Definitely.
Yeah, no, for sure. Does anybody want to add anything in regards to what we were talking about how to, answer that question? Julie.
Julie's hand up.
So in my past networking, one of the things I learned about habits was that it takes 30 solid days in order for you to learn and kind of lock in a habit.
Right.
So with technology, we can set reminders to do that.
Yeah. No,
to lock in a new habit.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make it a habit when you're trying to change.
No, that's true.
Yeah, and some people like that would be the minimum, I think, 30 days. I think the more reality of becoming a natural thing is, I think it would almost be 60 to almost even 90 days. Even when I used to work out, I wouldn't actually enjoy working out till the end of my 3rd month. It's like up till then, it's like, why?
No, but it's true. It's making it, it's making it habitual, so it becomes a natural thing. And so whether it's an activity or whether it's an attitude, or like we're learning from the Big Al stuff, or whether it's actual phrases, it doesn't just happen. Wanting something to be better, wanting something to change or improve isn't enough. We actually have to put the action with it. So no, that's good.
Yeah, and with technology, like Julie said, you can set timer, like ding things on your phone. Alarms, dingers. Been a rough day, obviously.
Obviously.
I don't have my smart glasses on. That's the problem.
You don't have your smart glasses.
I don't have my smart glasses on. Okay. Anybody else?
But I was really impressed when he was on the video, and we watched that video when he zoomed in.
Oh,
that went so fast, the time, but it was just, the information was just, you were, as Randy said, right there on the edge of your seat all the time.
Yeah, because that what he's saying is true, because he does a lot of interacting with the spectators. You're not just a spectator. He does the interaction, and that when he's using certain phrases, our response to his phrases are also reflexes. They're actually habit. So if we develop the most effective skills in communicating, then we're helping people also to be able to make decisions and not just put up barriers, right? So that's awesome.
Hey, who's we got Sheldon and Claudine coming for the Big Al. Who else is coming? Rick and Julie, right? From out of town.
I don't know if anybody else out of town. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not. I would love to be there, but
can't be everywhere.
Are Sheldon and Claudia going to be here in time for the dinner?
Probably not.
They're only leaving Friday.
Yeah, they're only leaving Friday morning, so
that's a full day.
Yeah.
So are we.
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Well, you never know.
Well, we could we could talk to him, I guess.
It's only an hour and a half further than here.
Julie, what time are you guys leaving?
Oh, I don't know. What time are we leaving, Rick?
Hopefully around 7.
About 7.
Okay. That's
I don't know. That's pretty early for Sheldon.
It's not a
Fair enough.
It's not an early bird, but we can suggest it.
Yeah, we can. We can.
You never know.
You never know.
No.
Develop a new habit.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Encourage him to develop a new habit.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Awesome. Anybody else want to add anything about habits, or maybe about, sharing your business? Anything?
Well, I just think having the opportunity of Big Al coming here in person is absolutely once in a lifetime opportunity. And I know if we apply what we'll hear that night, our life will change forever. I can guarantee that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy is #1 in the world on simple phrases.
Yeah.
He
Communication.
built a networking company in 24 months, over 100,000 people using these phrases.
Yeah. And it's interesting, I don't know if people know, previously to him getting into what he's doing now, he was an engineer. And he's quite upfront about it. He says, yeah, I was like a total geek engineer, introvert. And so for him, he's just learning to say the right things. And
it didn't come naturally to him.
No, it didn't come naturally to him at all, you know, and that's what makes it really encouraging.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, Cal. It is an amazing privilege that he's actually going to be with us live in person, Little Vernon.
Well, you know, I almost got to pinch myself that it's real because it seems surreal.
Next time I see you, I'm going to pinch you.
You can pinch me tomorrow morning at the breakfast.
Okay, to wake you up.
But no, I'm so pumped about it.
No, it's going to be awesome. So anybody else want to add anything? No? That's all right. Okay, I'm actually just, what's that?
I could add one more.
Go ahead.
I'm full of it today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
we need to hear
it. If you want an affirmation to sink in, you need to say it in different tenses. So I am a positive person, Julie is a positive person, and she is a positive person. And if you do that as a habit, you actually will start feeling more positive.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I know I've read somewhere else that how powerful it is for us to hear our own voice say something. So even like reading things out loud. And so actually hearing ourselves say those things about ourselves and to ourselves, it actually reinforces that, the power of hearing it in our voice. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. I'm just going to add with that, that quote from John Maxwell again, just to reinforce, just the difference between good habits and bad habits, and why we want to discipline ourselves and commit to just constantly improving, you know, focusing on one thing at a time. And so the quote again was, good habits serve us and bad habits, we serve them. So yeah.
Wow.
So that's a gooder. That's a gooder.
That's a gooder. Okay, guys.
All right.
So how do we do on time this time?
I don't know. I think we did good.
I think we killed it.
I think we did good.